Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Shorts, where today we're showing you this lovely specimen here, and yes, that's Mischief's tail, getting in all kinds of trouble. Anyway, the scientific name of this plant is Begonia diplotelax XU062. Actually, that's UO62. But anyway, its variety name is Sinbad, and you might be able to see that on the tag here. And it's classified as an angel wing begonia, but technically it's not because it is a man-made hybrid and does not have the normal traits of an angel wing. And apparently someone likes the Stick of Destiny. Do you like the Stick of Destiny, you trouble causer? Anyway, it is a cane begonia, which is in contrast to the fibrous-rooted begonias that I showed in an earlier episode. Now, with this plant, the flowers are edible, though I don't know what they taste like. I haven't tried them on this one. This plant was located on... It was a plant that someone had intended to buy, then discarded, and apparently the staff at the nursery I bought it from had not noticed it, so it had taken some damage before I got to it. So this is weeks of recovery we're looking at here. It's very healthy, and it's side shooting, and the leaves are pretty, and, I mean, let's zoom in for a second past Mischief licking the leaf, because he's a weirdo. See how crinkly they are? They're very crinkly. They have a weird texture to them, and that's what caught my eye, because I'm used to angel wing begonias or cane type begonias being smooth. Smoot. Smoot. Hey, it's smoot. But this one's just like, nah fam, I'm not that. I'm Sinbad. I sail the seas and cause trouble. Anyway, I just should point out it is in the Begoniaceae family, and the begonia family was named for Michael Begon, who was born in 1638 and died in 1710 and was the governor of French Canada. Now, there's a point of divergence about where the Sinbad variety actually originated specifically and what year. Some sites say it originated in the 70s, some say as early as 1990. I cannot find a consensus, so I'm going to say recent, and that's the best I'm going to give you. But it is an absolute man-made hybrid. Literally, it would not exist in nature because it is a specific cross between Begonia diplotelax, a thick stem type begonia, and UO62, which is a shrubby cane type. Now, by thick stem, and you'll see them sometimes, there is a unusual begonias where they have a large fat stem. I used to have a rare one that actually had palmate leaves, and it was really crazy. But anyway, there are those, and they're fibrous rooted, but they're thick trunked, so they're almost succulent. I mean, most begonias are almost succulent to start with, but they're really crazy. And when you start going into the begonia family, you start to see some weird shit. Now, anyway, this plant is a hardy perennial outdoors from zones 10 through 11, and probably, I mean, I'm assuming 10 through 11 or warmer. 9 through 1, it is considered an annual/house plant, which is what this plant has been treated as. It has been treated as a houseplant. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, beyond that, it doesn't seem to... I couldn't find any listing for a soil pH preference, but potting soil is probably the answer. Because potting soil is as close to give or take neutral as possible, depending on what kind of potting soil, but I mean general, plain old potting soil. You probably want to get something with a little fertilizer added to it just for the health and vigor of the plant. Its exposure is partial to full shade, which is interesting. Because even the fibrous-rooted begonias can take more light than that, but apparently this one is prone to scorching. But with these unusual leaves, I'm not too shocked. Its height can be 2 to 3 feet, and its width can be 2 to 3 feet. Though this specimen isn't showing it, it's more height than it is width. The side shoots will probably make or break that later. So, in a nutshell, this particular plant is interesting because of the shape and the form. Now, outdoors for the warm months, I can imagine you putting this in a shady area and having something trailing drape out of the pot to really make use of its height versus the lower trailing stuff. I'm not sure that this plant is particularly competitive, so you don't want to get something extra vigorous. Maybe Creeping Jenny, that little green creeping stuff that is actually semi-perennial around here. You might be able to grow some traditional ajuga in the pot around it, but the problem is you don't want to bring the ajuga in. It's a perennial. This plant is not. Additionally, this plant with a row of its cousins around its base would probably work, or coleus, or some contrasting plant that you could put in there. Maybe even some of the oxalis, the false shamrocks, you know, the ones that are green and have purple, the little pink flowers, those might work as well. As a houseplant, it's a neat plant in general. I mean, look at this foliage. Look at this foliage. It's really cool and textured. So it's a visual and a physical interest plant. And that is what makes this great. And this is why you should have one in your garden. Now, if you have any thoughts about cane begonias, because obviously if I was going to do a cane begonia video, I was not going to do a normal cane begonia, please put them in the comment section. If you have any experience with them, if you like them, if you hate them, I'd love to hear back from you lovely folks out there. In addition to that, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And in the description for this video, you'll find a link to the Forage blog, and you'll find all kinds of groovy stuff about plants you can eat. In addition to that, I hope you liked this video, and as always, folks, keep them growing. Thank you for watching.